超すごかったよ。ワンパンでボーンって勝負ついちゃって、で後ろの岩壁までボーンって。
Whoa, Satsuka, try to keep the show about illegal candy trading and human trafficking PG, would ya? Continuing right from where we left off last week, Shoma had seemingly defeated Morgan, but at a rather hefty cost, as the 100 Gochizos they used in his pod were consumed. Yeah, as we'll see throughout this episode, this new form has a lot of drawbacks that'll likely require Shoma to need to further master it. Case in point, our lead writer pointed out how he likely failed to strike a killing blow on Morgan as he was a little off the mark. Sure enough, Naivo later found the guy and was going to do some further mods on him. And yeah, it's probably worth reminding everyone that this centipede head is allowing his body to be mutilated just for the sake of some really good candy. Granted, our protagonist isn't that much better of a role model, as he needed to replenish his Gochizos.
これじゃあごちそうが出せない。今から買いに行くしかないよ。
Hooray! Diabetes arc! However, his snack supply had been wiped out by his grunkle Dente. Thus Shoma went to that one candy shop, and I would say this is a bad idea, as 1, kids also shop there, and 2, a warehouse supply store would usually be a lot cheaper. However, the show would address both of these issues by 1, having a very wholesome scene where Shoma gave his candy to a kid, and 2...
全部で1200円。
はい。
Yeah, I know I keep bringing this up, but Japan, you really need to get your numbers up. Anyway, as it turned out, Shoma wouldn't need any of it, as all of his friends were setting up cooking stations to make all the stacks he'd need. Again, wholesome stuff, and Lakia wearing one of Sachika's aprons is just beyond adorable. Though, I'm not really sure if pancakes count as snacks, as they seem more like a meal thing, as unhealthy as they are. But whatever, maybe this actor just wanted to eat some real food rather than all of this overprocessed junk. Meanwhile, Glola was trying to confront her new sister-in-law, and might have actually been a little worried that Liesel was doing weird things to Jeep, if only because he was her plaything, though unfortunately, she might have been a little too late for that.
リゼルは今の私に一番必要なの。チープ。
Yeah, that's the face of a sister who realized her brother is into the kinky shit. But yeah, interestingly enough, Jeep pretty much spelled out what exactly he was after to his sister, and even right in front of Liesel. Though, I think even she knew that this cis-con is trying to manipulate her to achieve his goals, but these two are just so toxic that they're actually starting to mix well together, I guess. This didn't sit well with Glota, who, yeah, I guess they're going to start up a little story arc for her. Which is interesting because looking back at her previous interactions with the twins, she was the one member of the Stomach family, aside from Shoma, who did show them relatively a little more concern. I mean, sure, she wasn't exactly Sister of the Year material, but she did at least kind of stick up for them. And of course, seeing Jeep in a clearly unhealthy relationship for the sake of vengeance did seem to trigger something in her like, oh crap, why did I ignore this for so long? Basically, it's turning her into the villain equivalent of Lakia. Both are siblings who neglected their younger brother for maybe a little too long as they start to walk down self-destructive paths. It's a very interesting direction to take a character who's kind of been sidelined for the past few arcs, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where they end up taking her. Meanwhile, after being fixed up by Naivo, Mongan got back to his attacks, and this time was equipped with a Bake Magnum, which I almost thought he was going to use the Henshin with, but no, he still used his Black Gavv, and just used it as a weapon. Regardless, he was causing a lot of damage, forcing Lakia and Hanto to take action, while Shoma created the last Gochizos he needed, as he was just 3 short of 100. He also might want to go to the bathroom beforehand, but that's just a thought. Though on that note, like his constipation arc, some sort of mental block was preventing him from creating the last 3. Sachika pointed out that it was likely because he was trying too hard to make Gochizo rather than just enjoying the food, which made sense. Shoma has created a lot of Gochizos both because he enjoyed the food and the people associated with it. Obviously, his late mother has been a major contributor, but so has his current group of friends, who seem to stay up all night making snacks for him just to get him up to 97. It really highlights the show's themes about food bringing people together a little better than a certain magical girl anime that will go unnamed. But yeah, after embracing the good feels through his food journal, which yeah, I also kind of forgot was a thing, and going through a bit of a trippy sequence, he managed to create 3 more Gochizos that he'll probably never actually use outside of the Gochizo because he's got a lot of those. If anything, I kind of wish that the almond cookies would be better put to use because those things are delicious. Anyway, he would need to hurry, as even with their powered up forms, Naivo's mods had let Magen keep up with the riders. Also, I guess frappe has a time limit like ice cream, though maybe it can last a little longer because it's made of liquid. Neither that or separating the brothers sped up the melting process, but still, really cool save here. With that though, Shoma eventually arrived and henchined into his overform, and after giving Magen the usual ultimatum, which of course he refused, he proceeded to not have a great second round with the guy. Yeah, the overform proved to be a true mighty glacier, in that while it was strong and not invincible, it was also slow as hell, and therefore had the accuracy of a pea shooter. Thus, Magen was able to dodge most of his attacks, and ultimately was only defeated thanks to Locky and Hanzo holding him in place. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a great display of teamwork for the riders, but it also makes the overform just look really weak. And considering what's going to happen next week, they really need to start thinking about turning things upside down. Though credit where it's due, at least this finishing blow to Magen looks sweet as all hell. However, things weren't all sunshine and rainbows, as Dente seemingly just passed away. Yeah, I guess he was getting up there in age, plus the shock of literally pulling his own teeth probably didn't help matters. The saddest part of it was how sudden it was, but I guess it also made sense that he was trying to hold out until he could at least create his final gift and magnum opus for his nephew. Meanwhile, the other, more dysfunctional half of the Stomach family just continued to erode. Naivo took a job offer from Boca to become his chief researcher after impressing him with all of the mods he had given to Magen. Meanwhile, the remaining Stomachs at least got the biggest order they had ever gotten to date of 10 million dark treats. With that, the episode ended with Longo declaring that they would fulfill that order with the help of the unlimited financial backing of the Jaldok family. This is a pretty touching little follow-up to the previous episode, though it is also still making me more excited for future developments rather than just this episode by itself. I mean, the episode was fine, with some very decent action, and just seeing Shoma happy alongside his friends was nice. That said, I am just kind of over the overform at this point, and just want to get back to the Stomach family drama. To be fair, I feel like the overform might be more of a transitional file form, kind of like Agito's burning form or Gitsu's boost mark III. Thus, I guess it's supposed to show its flaws before inevitably switching out with the true final form. That said, after all of that build up to fill it up, it is disappointing to see Shoma still needing to rely on his friends just to hold Magen in place so that he could get a clean shot. Whatever his next form is like, hopefully it'll justify all of this build up. That said, the journey to refill the pod was touching, especially when this might have been Dente's final contribution to helping his nephew. Though, on the subject of families, yeah, I was more interested in seeing how dysfunctional the Stomachs could become. Obviously, Longo was focused on keeping his company together no matter how many family members he lost in the process, but surprisingly, Glota is kind of breaking out for me with how she's slowly starting to show that she does kind of care for her brother, or at least disapproves of the dangerous path he was going down. While I'm not expecting a full face turn from her, I'm at least interested in seeing how much she'll end up adding to their little family feud. It's also awesome to learn that Longo is finally going to get his hands dirty as they step up their production. There's a lot of interesting prospects for this show, which does at least justify episodes like this. That said, this is still overall better than last week, if only for the wholesome bits of Team Gavv bonding, and of course the possible passing of Dente. Though we'll just have to see what they're cooking up next week as the Grand New Division continues to step up. Thanks for watching, and if you want to avoid diabetes, well, these videos could probably help in that they'll probably kill your appetite. I mean, we do at least try to make some entertaining hunger killers, so at least they'll be kind of worth it. Look forward to whatever comes next. Until then, though, for now, my friends, and, yeah, after an episode like this, I think I'm good for sugar for a while.